Hi, welcome to the demonstration of deploying Cloud Pak for business automation, operators, and namespaces. What we're going to do is walk you through the process that it would take to do the installation through the Daffy tool. As you can see here, we do not have a project for our deployment, and we do not have any operators for the Cloud Pak for business automation deployed as of yet. To do this, we're going to take a look at our environment file and see what variables we're going to need to set to enable this deployment. I'm going to be deploying through Alpha 01 and take a look at this file. There are two sections that are important for Cloud Pak for business automation: the platform, which is the version and any fixed pack that you want to install, and then the service that you want to deploy. In this case, we're going to deploy production content, and we're going to be pointing to these two servers for LDAP and for database, which are on a different machine. Now let's go ahead and kick off the install and watch this go through the process. So for us to do the deployment, what we're going to do is run the actual build process of the Cloud Pak for business automation. I'm going to do a stop clock in the top right corner because I'm going to fast forward through some of this because it takes up to 10 minutes for some of the sections. So I'm going to run the build, passing it my environment name, in this case Alpha 01. And as the system usually does, it goes through and validates that we have all the right settings, we have the right access, that our variables are set correctly, the right versions are going to match for support, and we're going to make sure that the bash and box that we're running on has been updated. Once all the pre-checks have been verified and have passed, it will then run through the process to do the actual deployment. And before we continue, we want to make sure that the cluster we're going to install to is healthy, that all the operators that are existing and the nodes are in a healthy state before we continue. The first thing that we'll do for the install is to download the case tool based on the version that you've picked. In this case, it's 2302 IF01, which is the case version 5.1.1. It now will download this tool, and once it's downloaded, it's going to execute the cluster admin setup script, passing the correct variables to do the deployment. And as you can see, we're speeding through. This does take time for it to go through the cluster to build everything. As you can see, the deployment of the setup is successful, and now the last step we're going to do is make sure we copy the JDBC jars to the correct pod. And as you can see, it took about 10 minutes and 20 seconds for this deployment to occur. Now I want to show you that we now have a new namespace or a project called CP for BA Content, and we can see we have all of our operators. So if I go to my project for the new project for content, you'll see all the operators now been successfully installed. And here's our new namespace, the settings for this new namespace. And if we go into the namespace itself, we can see that there are 11 pods and 11 deployments. So at this point, we have a namespace that's ready for deployment.